I'm the CEO of Platform 14, a UK-based medical device company, and I have been with the company just over a year now. And when I came on board, it became apparent very quickly that there were regulatory deficiencies. We had the basics, but I wanted to take us from amateur to professional, and that led me to Freyr, and that's how our relationship started. So we offer pain medical devices as well as PPE, radiation protection, for now, and looking into branch into other areas as well. But Freyr and I have been working together consistently for over a year now, and that's why I'm very happy to join this call today.
Thank you, Ben. That's fantastic to know how Platform 14 took off to become the leaders in pain management. And I understand that you have manufacturing operations in the US too, and you also have the experience in global distribution for high-scale medical devices. What do you think are the major barriers that medical industry is facing in the current scenario, considering Brexit, pandemic, and EUMDR put together?
It's a very big question, Hemant. There are a lot of challenges, and burying your head in the sand is not an option. So Brexit, whether or not you agree with it, has happened, and we need to figure out the minefield that is Brexit with regards to transporting both from the UK into Europe and outside of Europe, but also globally as new trade deals come online with the UK operating outside of the EU, making sure that your regulatory side of the business is locked down is going to be absolutely critical. With regards to the MDD MDR transition, again, with everything that's gone on with the pandemic and Brexit all kind of coming together at the same time, it is in a state of flux. But make no doubt about it, MDD to MDR transition has happened, and people who are sleepwalking into the transition will be found out, and it could be problematic. So there is a lot going on, and making sure that you have everything organized and you are safe, legal and compliant is a key pillar of any industry, certainly in the medical device sector moving forward.
That's very well put together to summarize the industry barriers in the frame of Brexit, pandemic, and EUMDR, Ben. I'm sure our audience will truly appreciate your insights. On that note, I would like to discuss what were the regulatory challenges that encountered by Platform 14 when you wanted to bring your innovative technology products to UK and Europe.
So again, many and varied. I think a lot of American companies, if they have FDA approval, assume that it's a seamless transition to CE mark. It couldn't be further from the truth. I would say over probably the last 5 years, it's shifted from CE mark being arguably the easier accreditation to achieve versus FDA to completely the way around. The experience that we've had is FDA approval was relatively seamless and relatively quick. CE mark has taken a lot longer and cost considerably more. Also, the regulatory requirements from an FDA point of view, to simplify it, the FDA need you to prove that it's not going to kill somebody. Whereas the CE mark, you need to prove that it is safe and it is efficacious and that it is genuinely a new technology that you're bringing to the market. So there are many, many more steps required. And what we've had to do is we've brought the manufacturer up to code with the help of Freyr, and I now have CE mark for products that I'm very excited to bring to the market. But there are many hurdles, and you need expert guidance to get over them. Absolutely, you cannot wing it.
I totally agree with you, and I believe regulatory could be a hurdle at times, from what you have explained. How do you think Freyr helped you address these challenges?
A combination of things. So I do not speak the language of regulatory, so I needed translators. So what was great was Freyr take very complex and complicated language and processes, and they break it down for a layperson to understand, which is incredibly helpful. The way that the journey with Freyr has been is I realized there was a problem and there were issues. I got in touch with the team at Freyr, and what they did was they did an initial gap analysis, very open, very upfront with how it would work. We supplied all the information that was required. The gap analysis was done, and then we built together. We built a roadmap of how we were going to achieve our goals. And within this sector and within business, communication is absolutely critical. And Freyr have been fantastic with regards to the communication side of things, constantly updating, letting me know. With a business, there are many areas where you get pulled and pushed to, very firmly but gently, getting me to respond to important questions in a timely manner, and managing the process. It was a worry and a headache that Freyr took away. So it was it was very good.
That's really great to hear from how Freya helped you with these challenges, Ben. I would be keen to hear what services did you avail from Freyr on overcoming these regulatory barriers? Could you just give a summary of?
Absolutely. So again, initially the first step on the roadmap was the gap analysis. So I didn't know what I didn't know, and I also didn't know where the holes were. So sharing the information with Freyr, you going away and doing an in-depth analysis of what the problem was, and then coming back with a clear timeline as well as costings of how we were going to achieve what we were going to achieve. They included making sure that we were ready for the MDD to MDR transition, looking at the gap analysis for what has been done from an R&D perspective in the US to see how we were ready to take that to a notified body for CE mark. On top of that as well, you have pretty much rewritten every single SOP that my company was using, with an eye to transitioning us, as I said, from an amateur 9001 to a professional 13485. So it has been all encompassing, as well as the occasional emotional support. That's been very helpful as well. But also your team were able to advise me on certain matters with regards to market access. One of the key things was we were able to commercialize earlier based on the sound guidance from Freyr, which was, from a business perspective, was invaluable.
Thank you for that, Ben. Considering you have availed multiple services from us, I would love to hear from you about your overall experience with Freyr in terms of the different teams. How was your overall experience?
Overwhelmingly positive. The reason being is Freyr have people all over the world. So when I required a UK responsible person, you had people in country in the same time zone responding to the requests and needs immediately. We also required a European authorized representative named person, provided for, again, with a wealth of experience, clear, transparent, sharing of information with regards to those people's curriculum vitae. And what that allowed us to do was see that we were bringing on absolute quality into the Platform 14 family, and again, highly responsive, over communicating, which is fantastic to see. On top of that as well, Hemant, it would be a disservice not to say how fantastic you have been, both in managing me, but also making sure that things are done in a timely manner. I am very happy with every single interaction we've had over the last 12 months, and timeframes have been hit. Budgets have been maintained, and ultimately I have a better company and a better range of products because of the interaction with Freyr.
Thanks a lot for such a positive and inspiring feedback, Ben. It's delightful to hear this. I'm sure Freyrians will be very proud. Do you have any other previous experience working with other regulatory service providers? If yes, how do you think Freyr is different from them? And what do you like about Freyr?
I have had experience working with other regulatory consultants. There are several things that I very much enjoy. One, the time difference makes no impact. I think the level of service provided by Freyr is far and above the other companies that I've worked with. There is also a lack of arrogance with Freyr compared to some of the other companies I've worked for, as well as not trying to confuse me with the nomenclature and the language used within regulatory, but actually explaining it so I understand and felt more confident in making decisions around a regulatory mindset. So, and also, you know, the cost effectiveness of Freyr. There are other companies that I worked with that I begrudgingly gave money to because I felt I wasn't getting value for money. The exact opposite with Freyr. I was deeply impressed with the level of expertise when compared with the bills, the invoice at the end. I have worked with Freyr and will continue to work with Freyr, and I am very, very happy with the end-to-end with the service from Freyr, and more importantly, the product. You know, their service can be great if the product isn't there. You know, that's 50% of the battle. So end to end, start to finish, but there isn't a finish. I am deeply impressed with Freyr and the entire team.
Thank you, and I'm very glad to see these key differentiators make Freyr stand out, provide the right kind of support to industry, enabling manufacturers to stretch beyond and strategize their business plans. Based on your experience, what's your advice to somebody who's looking for a regulatory service provider, especially in the MedTech industry?
Several pieces of advice. One, don't feel uncomfortable about not understanding this area. It is complicated, but it's also something that you cannot afford to get wrong. It is an area of your business that you must invest in. It is a key pillar of any successful medical device company. You have to have your regulatory on point, and I would say absolutely shop around, get quotes, look around. I think you'll probably find yourself coming back to Freyr, and it is not a bad thing. I'm deeply impressed with every single interaction and point that I've experienced with Freyr, and will continue to do so. I'm very happy.
Thank you, Ben. We are extremely fortunate to have you on our first Freyr Connect. Your experience is highly valued for our audience, especially for those who are looking for a regulatory service providers. Thank you for taking your time to share your experience on Freyr Client Connect. We really appreciate your feedback and very much inspired to provide even better service on our next collaboration with Platform 14. Have a wonderful day ahead, Ben.
You too. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you, Hemant, and thank you, everybody.